Yo, what is going on, guys? We are back. Told you what was going on. We've got our guest, familiar face, friend of the show, Chase Gronley. What's up, Chase?
What's going on?
For those of you that don't know, Chase is owner, co-owner, lead worker at Imagine Marine Electronics. So he does a lot with electronics, a lot with all sorts of electronics. We're going to get into a little bit of everything with electronics, but mostly obviously focus on your graphs on your boat. I mean, there's a lot of crazy technology that's out there right now.
It's hard to keep up.
Yeah, but we're going to keep it pretty basic, pretty simple. We really want to talk on what's out there basically and what's available. We don't have any electronic sponsors. We don't work for any electronics company. So just kind of what we've seen out there and basically making sure that you guys are setting it up. Like that was one thing we were just having a chat with in the shop the other day. And it was like, man, how much money do we spend on electronics? And we don't even know if we've got them rigged properly. We don't know if the transducer's in the right spot. We don't know if we've got the graph in the right spot. When you go to Panoptics and you start thinking live scope, it's kind of all over the place, right? Where do you put the transducer? Where do you put your black box? Where do I want my screen? Where do I want my partner screen, right? Whether you're using waypoints or whatever. So it should be a pretty good episode.
Yeah. It's going to be a lot of, it's not one size fits all when it comes to this stuff at all. Every boat is different. You could have the same brand, same boat as your friend, and it'll be different.
Yeah, and it's like what I like about the graphs is like there is no right answer. Like you can run a couple different things. On my boat specifically, I've got 2 Humminbirds and 2 Garmins, and I get a lot of people that ask why, and it's like it kind of works for me. Sometimes it has to do with what your boat comes with. My boat came with a 12-inch Humminbird, right. So it's like I don't want to sell that and get something else. So let me get one bird and then a bird up front so they can talk to each other. And then a Garmin. And I know live scope is like the big thing and people want to know, do I have to switch all my graphs to Garmin? No.
I mean, it's
all
what you're comfortable with using.
Yeah.
If you're used to Lowrance, get Active Target. If you like your Humminbird, your boat's got Humminbird on it already, get Mega Live 2. Not 1, but 2.
Yeah.
But it's all user preference and what you're comfortable with. I'm second to none to Garmin because their customer support is top notch. Not only for me as a dealer, but for you.
Yes.
If you were to call them, you could get yours replaced tomorrow.
Right.
No problem.
Yeah. And that's another big thing too, is like, there's so much that can go on with these units, settings. If a wire's not fully clicking, whether it's up at the graph, down in the gunnel, or down by the battery,
it's all as good as its weakest link. If you don't have something set up right, you're gonna be chasing your tail.
100%. So as we go on, guys, for those of you that are tuned in now, ask any questions you want. Feel free to drop any questions below. If you have any questions on your boats, we'll see them here in the comment as we're reading along. We'll usually try and finish our thought, and then we'll kind of get back to your question. But I guess the first thing, like one of the biggest questions I hear people ask when they come in is like, hey, what do I need to buy? Like, what graph should I buy? And I think we kind of touched on it a little bit, but I want to highly emphasize it again. Whatever one you're comfortable with. Yeah,
and it's whatever you can. My dad's famous quote is, "I've never had somebody say I wish I went smaller when they're ordering screens."
Right.
If it fits your budget, if it's what you were planning on, and it fits your boat, as far as space, like you're kind of limited under your helm.
Right. And we're going to touch on that. That's something that I thought was really important that we touch on is like, where do you want these things? Because it's going to be different if you jig or if you cast or if you troll. And we'll touch on that. But anyway, like you were saying,
as far as screen size goes, it's whatever your budget can afford and the size screen that can fit in your boat. It's as far as brand, again, it's
whatever you're comfortable with and whatever you can get a deal on. I mean, a lot of times, like
especially right now, there's so many Black Friday deals, Christmas deals.
Yes.
I mean, a lot of times
take advantage of it.
A lot of times I can't touch it. So call me, talk to me. But if you mention it, I'll probably say, get it.
Well, because a lot of times it's not only the deal you can get, but it's like, I mean, I'm a retailer. I get it. I know who I'm going up against. But a lot of times it's not even that. It's like, if you've got a credit card, you get 10%. If you go on Monday, you get an extra 10%. Like you're getting out of there with a screen or a bundle, like literally for what we can get it for from our distributors.
Right.
So it's like a lot of times keep an eye out on that. Sometimes different brands have different deals and you can really capitalize on that. But as far as like which one is far superior, there's just not a right answer. And typically the people that give you the right answer are usually getting paid by those companies
or getting it for a deal like we are.
Right. But it all depends. It depends on what you're using it for. It depends on, Hummingbird's side imaging in mega down might be really good, but Lowrance is
and again, on that point, Hummingbird's got great mapping. Their Lake Master chips are really good.
Yeah.
And Garmin's Live Scope is top tier.
It is. And Active Target, the new Active Targets come a long way. Humminbird, Mega Live too. Like they've all come a long way. There's a reason Garmin was there first. There was a reason that the companies got sued by Garmin when they were getting ready to roll out some of their stuff. So it's like, obviously they were the ones to kind of pioneer that. But yeah, I don't know. It's always such a hot button, like not a hot button topic, but it's always like a question in the stores. Like, what do I go with? And it's like, there really is no right answer. Like, what do you feel comfortable spending the money on? And then what do you feel comfortable using? Because you're the one that's going to be using it every day.
As far as being around them all, user friendliness, I think I haven't messed with the new Explorer units from Humminbird.
I can't wait to check them out.
But
I haven't even been to like Cabela's.
As far as user friendliness from what we've been around, the Garmin stuff is plug and play.
Yeah.
It's so nice. If you can run an iPhone, you can run it.
Right. Now with the Garmin stuff and with anything, you're better off explaining this than I am, but like, what is the biggest difference? Like you see these different units, you see the different names. There's two different 12-inch screens, but this one's $1,000 more. What is the purpose behind that? And what's the difference that you see?
Like the Garmin stuff, like before they got rid of it this year, the 8600 series, the GPS maps.
Yes.
They have HDMI ports, they're radar capable. So like your center console fishing boats, your cruisers, your stuff that you're going to want to put a radar on, your salmon boats, stuff like that you're going to want to get into a GPS map series, because the Echo Map series, no radar. It's a strictly fishing minded unit. Yeah. Whereas the GPS map series is truly a multi-function display. Okay. So it's much more in depth. It's much more dynamic. Faster, you have a lot more to it. But for your average guy that's just going out and wants to jump into a stream, Garmin, speaking of Garmin, because obviously Humminbird has their different series and we'll touch on those as well. But specifically with Garmin like that the Echo Map series is probably more beneficial to us. It's got really good mapping still. It's still got the all the functions that you need for fishing. And it's a lot more affordable typically. Yeah, all the mapping stuff is the same. And then they just came out that 16-inch Echo Map. Right. So there you can get the biggest size screen that previously was available in the GPS map series. But that makes sense on that too. And then Humminbird just kind of redialed everything in, right? They got rid of the now it's the Helix series. And that was a good move. And they got rid of now I'm not gonna be able to think of it, but the Solixes, yes. Now they just came out with the Explorers. Yeah, the Explorers are it's like a morph of the Helix. They look good, dude. Apex. Yeah, they look. Yeah. Yeah, the Apex they look really good. And then the Apex is kind of like the top tier. And I'm guessing the Apex for Humminbird is going to be a lot similar to that 86 series with Garmin, where it's going to be a lot more dynamic. A lot of times the picture can be a little bit more clear because it's got a lot better processing in it. Yep. But again, if you're just going out and you're just someone that likes to fish and you really don't dial in your electronics a ton, then definitely stick more towards that like Explorer series and not so much the Apex series. If you really want to get into your electronics and dial them in, then the Apex would be for you. But also, this is something we talk about, is like too often we see, even with the even with the technology that we have, it is not being used to like its full potential at all. No. And it's hard because it's like, dude, you go out there and you're like, I'm going to play with my graph. And you put your graph in the water and there's a school of fish right in front of you. And it's game over. Yeah, exactly. So it's like, you have to go out there. And this is what we did when we first, we had jigs so we could see and play with our lures. But when we first put live scope on this boat, however many years ago it was like, all right, we're not fishing, like no fishing rods. Don't bring any live bait. Like just whatever's on your rod, just so we can see the jig and kind of dial it in. And then I did the same thing with my Humminbirds to dial in like my side imaging. Yeah, it takes time. It does. How important is that? Because we're spending so much money on it, dude. It's like, you need to take time, guys. If I could preach like one thing, like take your time
to really like learn your electronics because they can take you up that other level.
Oh,
100%. But with that being said, I'm getting long-winded here, but with that being said, like in the river, it's a totally different monster than the lake.
Yeah.
Like
fish are different. They act different.
They act different. So many times you get people come in and they're like, man, I got this brand new graph and I can't mark any fish. Odds are, like on 2D, you're not going to, unless you're really, really good on your graph or they're just somewhat off the bottom. Mm-hmm. It's very hard to distinguish what's a fish and what else is down there, whether it's wood or rocks or who knows what.
All those fish are hiding in all that stuff that you're getting snagged on. So, the stuff you're getting snagged on is going to be a harder return than a fish would be.
Right.
So it's just hard to see them unless they're above them, and then there they are. But
yeah. And the other thing too with the river is that I notice a lot of people is like, I've got them in coda, so I don't really like hummingbird, but I've got them in coda, so I'm going to get a hummingbird so they link and stuff. Mm-hmm. For us in the river, and you can tell me if I'm wrong, but for us in the river, I think that's a little overrated, overhyped. A lot of the times, if you're trying to plot those contours, if your boat misses that contour, depending on the wind or something like that, if your boat was to miss that contour, your trolling motor is going to turn all the way around because the way it sets the contours by points. So if it misses one, I noticed myself like it would turn my whole boat around, and I was better off just using like the heading sensor, like that, the north, the heading hold, the north with the little arrow. If you press and hold that, usually your boat motor will hold straight, and you can just kind of go in that straight line. And it was a lot. Sometimes less is more. Yeah, I guess is what I'm trying to say.
100%. You can get yourself in a loop, a never-ending cycle of messed up.
Well, it can be frustrating.
Which is fine. That's how you're going to learn.
Is
doing that, but don't do it on tournament day or pre-fishing. Take some time.
Yeah, you got your uncles in from out of state. Yeah. Don't be playing games. Uncle be pissed. But it can be super frustrating. Like we go on YouTube. And YouTube's like the biggest culprit of this, but like you can go on YouTube and watch these guys, hey, dialing in my hummingbird 2D, and you can watch them marking fish at 30 miles an hour, or you can watch them marking these big arcs as you're trolling. And there's a lot of people that, whether it's their sensitivity or their color depth or their color gain, you're not seeing those fish. But you go on YouTube and they figure it out like that, and they're like, it's that easy. And then you get out on the water to apply it yourself, and it's not.
It's not. That especially to that point, that is so much transducer placement, and it's a through haul transducer versus a transom mount, which some guys explain that in their YouTube videos. But your through haul transducer, whether it's actually through the hull or shooting through the fiberglass, mm-hmm. that's going to be your high speed transducer, and that's how they're able to read those marks on plane.
Explain that a little bit more too. Go into a little bit more depth, because that's the next thing I want to touch on. Is like, it's very important when you're spending all this money on electronics. Like, where do we place it? Right? Like I'm spending $1,600 on this unit. Do I want it in the front? Do I want it at the helm? Do I want it in the back of the boat? So we're going to talk about that. But while we're on it, like transducer placement is extremely important, because what's working for your, and I'm going to let you dive into this. But what's working for your marking at speed, your high speed marking, or your 2D is not what you want for side scan at all. So if you want to be effective at using like both methods, then I'll let Chase break it down. But your transducer placement is very important.
Yeah. And some guys with the right boats and the right placement will be able to read fish at speed with their transducer. I've seen it. I've done it.
Mm-hmm.
I've put them in the right spot and it gets perfect, but sometimes you got to dial it in, move it up, move it down.
Yeah.
But the best way to do it is have a 2 transducer setup and having a through haul and a transom mount transducer for your side scan. That way you can raise that side scan transducer above the keel a little bit.
Yeah.
And then so that's going to be your slow speed.
But you don't want it to cavitate. A lot of times, like behind the boat, you get that water that comes down and shoots back. And like a lot of times if you're running and you're marking like 800 foot of water, or you're noticing like it shoots to 0 and it's not reading right, that's usually what's happening. Your transducer's coming off the back of your boat and it's cavitating, which is normal. I mean, that happened a lot of times in aluminum boats. Like that's what you end up, if you don't have it perfectly placed, that's what happens. I mean, even in my polar craft, we tried to get it as perfect as possible. But just the way the boat ran and cavitated, it didn't work out.
Like I said at the beginning, every boat is different. So
inside and out.
I would love to be I would love to be able to tell you I get it perfect every time, but sometimes it's trial and error, and just got to roll with the punches.
And a lot of times I think we take that for granted, like even myself included. Like when I bought this boat, it was brand new. And when it shows up, there's some stuff wrong with it. You got to understand, each of these boats are built individually. It's not like these. I mean, they are coming off a line and the hulls are the same, but every boat is unique. Yeah. So it's like
sometimes you get one of those Friday boats. It happens.
Goodness. Yeah. Better than getting Friday wiring.
Yeah.
And then, so as far as like graph placement goes, I was talking with Chase about this. And to me, this is very important because I do a lot of fishing out of the front of my boat. So the way I've got my boat rigged is I've got, again, 2 graphs up at the bow, a Humminbird and a Garmin. And then I've got another Humminbird and Garmin at my steering wheel, right at my helm. And the reason I have that is so the birds can talk and the Garmins can talk. And the birds are what I'm using for side scan and typically like my mega imaging. So I can use my waypoints on there. And that way, when I go up to the front of the boat and I'm using live scope, then the bird is going to have my waypoints that I can climb up to, and I don't have to be splitting the screen with my Garmin. A lot of guys, if you're a troller, you'll notice there's a lot of boats with a graph in the back of the boat.
Or 2, John.
Or yeah, John. Yeah, or 2 in that situation. And that's because a lot of guys are trolling. You're spending a lot of time looking out the back of your boat, looking over your motor, watching boards. And why do you want to keep looking up? As you're driving throughout the day, you keep looking up to, are we marking anything? Are we marking anything?
Yeah.
So it's right there in front of you. And especially like salmon guys, it makes way too much sense not to have something in the back.
It's insane. When I was fishing a tournament in Lake Superior, we didn't have one in the back. So music's playing, we're having a good time, and I'm running the downriggers, right? And I needed to know what depth we're in because we're running this huge drop off.
Yeah.
And I needed to know. So I'm just screaming over everyone. What's the depth? What's the depth? Every 2 seconds, it felt like.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't have to do that if I end up stealing his Garmin watch to figure that out. But
yeah, and that's a whole nother can of worms we could really dial into, is like how to really become a one with your boat. And like, if you do have the Garmin units, you can use the Garmin watch, which will connect to the units so you can see water depth or you can see your heading on there. It gets a little crazy. I'd like to really dive into like all the fun electronics, like the stuff that we probably don't need, but we would have if we could, type deal, and like really dive into the night vision.
That's
dude, it's insane. The night vision is super cool. The radar, like everything that would be nice to have. It'd be really nice to be on the lake and not have to trust the Weather Channel app and actually have a radar in your boat so you can see it coming. And the watch and tying it all in together would be pretty crazy. But you think about that when you guys are placing your graphs, because like, typically, and I'm very aware that not everybody has 4 graphs on their boat. I don't blame you. I don't recommend it, but here I am. So if you only can have 2, then you're probably going to want to put one in the front at the steering wheel or one at the helm and then one at the bow. Because that makes the most sense. Because then when you're up, and especially if you're vertical jigging and stuff, you can see the water depth. You can see water temperature. You can see if you are marking anything right below you, especially if you're using that 2D. That really helps. But definitely put some thought into like where you're putting this stuff. Make sure it fits. Lay it all out. When we got this, I was ready to go right to town and start drilling and get my graphs on. And Chase was like, slow down. You got the windshield here. The way the windshield curves back. It's the way they're set right there, but Chase like, just hang on a second, lay them out, make sure they fit, then install them, because once it's hard enough to put a hole in the boat. You really don't want to have to put extras.
Yeah, it's a measure twice, cut once kind of deal.
Yeah,
all the time.
Yeah. Let's talk a little bit about live scope and live scope placement. I've had a lot of questions about it recently. A lot of people are looking into getting into forward facing sonar one way or another.
It feels like we're beating a dead horse, but it just keeps coming, the whole live scope topic.
There's so much to it. Yeah, there's so much to it. And like the small part that we're going to talk about right now is, where do I put it? Do I put it on a pole or do I put it on my trolling motor? And I know a couple buddies that are getting new trolling motors and they don't know if they want to put it on their pole. I know buddies that are getting a new motor because they know it's going on their motor. I'm kind of leaning that way, like getting out of the Altera and getting either a Kraken or an Ultrex where I can put the transducer right on the motor. what are your pros and cons one way or the other, and then I'll tell you mine. So like, what do you like about the pole, and then what do you like about the motor?
I like about the pole situation's nice because if you're spot locked and casting at a piece of structure, and if it's flat column, that's one thing, and you got no current, you're good.
Right.
But if it's on the trolling motor, but if you're in current or wind or what have you, if you're spot locked trying to cast at a piece of structure, that your trolling motor's constantly doing one of these, and you're off target, and you can't see what you're trying to look at with your sonar. So that way, if you put it on a pole, you can spot lock. You don't have to worry about what that trolling motor is doing, and you can look at your structure, whether it's a rock pile, brush pile, what have you.
Drop off, little shipwreck, whatever it is.
Mode and look at all the beds and.
Yeah. Bluegill fishing, smallmouth fishing, walleye fishing in the spring where we were.
Exactly. I mean, quite honestly, it's almost forcing your hand to get both. To get two transducers, two live scopes.
That's what we're talking about.
Yeah. 2
transducers, run the same black box, same battery, same screen, 2 different transducers, one hooked up to a pole ready to go, and one on the trolling motor. Because I had it both ways. When I had my polar craft, I had it on the trolling motor, and I did at that time I was doing a lot more river fishing, and it was perfect for vertical jigging, especially when I wanted it on like forward or down mode. It was perfect. But when it came to doing those certain things in the river where I wanted to spot lock and cast, whether I was salmon fishing, walleye fishing, or bass fishing, it wasn't the best for that, because I would have to like take it off spot lock, peek over, make sure everything's still there, and make sure it's where it needs to be in the water column or whatever, and then pull it back.
Now, for casting open water, you almost have to have it on the trolling motor. Me and Pete spent all summer trying to live scope with
I would get so mad, dude. I would get so mad.
And it was tough.
I felt bad because every Tuesday Chase was jumping on the boat and he was just ready to listen to me complain. But it was so frustrating because with the pole, like if you had any wind, if it was calm, you were money. You could sit there and do it. And honestly, like there's a couple tournaments. A lot of times in walleye fishing, your team tournaments. So like when we were pre-fishing for some tournaments, like the Madness out there on St. Clair, we had like a team thing going. So we had one guy on the pole, and then you had 2 guys like kind of casting, and that way everybody was doing something and we weren't just sitting around, and you could stay on your fish. But then it's like I go fish the NWT with those guys, and 99% of them have them on their trolling motor, and it's windy, and there's 3-footers in Thunder Bay.
Got the sucker on 10.
And I'm fishing with these guys, dude. And like Gage, I'm fishing with him day 2. And I mean, he finished the tournament in 2nd place. So like, obviously he's dialed. With it on the motor, you never leave the fish. As your boat's drifting away and drifting back, you're sitting there turning the motor. You're on that fish with your bait the whole time. Where like I'm cast, find it, reel, find it, reel, find it. And I'm just like, I'm going to kill something because I'm trying to catch fish.
What do you have you in the back on a pole in the back, or where were you?
Oh, I was just dragging some meat off the back.
You might as well. He's probably trolling speed.
I was casting. Well, and that's kind of what it was. So his co-angler day 1 caught an 8.5 pounder doing that, but basically casting death jigs and reeling them real slow, like right over the top of them rocks. Yeah. I was not so lucky. His co-angler day 1 jumped on the boat, looked him dead in the eyes, and said, "I'm a lucky MFer." And he's like, "Okay." And he caught that 8-pounder. So like maybe I need to have that energy moving forward, but I did not. But it was incredible. Even day 1, like when I was fishing with Chase, and I was sitting up on the bow with him all day. And it just, you could tell if you're in an open water situation, putting it on the motor is the way to go. But if you're going to fish more spot locking, more in rivers, if you want more flexibility with it, then putting it on a pole. Yeah. I love the Brew City pole. Again, I don't work with any of these companies. Personally, I use the Brew City pole. I know a lot of friends have ordered the Brew City pole.
So far, it's less. I know, like my boss just made one.
Yep.
Terry was showing me.
Yep.
And then
Trax makes a good one. Yep.
But as far as I'm concerned, that Brew City one is.
It's a lot more compact and there's a lot less to it. It's one pin, it's one little wing nut, and you're fishing.
Yeah, it's super nice. And then they have you can break it down to an ice fishing setup too, which that's coming. But
yeah. Well, and that's another thing that we could kind of touch on. We do have a little bit of time here. if you are an ice fisherman or you like to ice fish and you want to get the biggest bang for your buck, you want to get the absolute most, you want to buy a live scope unit and you want the best bang for your buck where you can use it as much as possible, do not be an idiot like me and just buy it and mount it to your boat. If you can, which it's hard if you mount it to the trolling motor, but if you don't have it on, if you have it on a pole, buy a shuttle, name some Summit,
Arc Lab.
Arc Labs is sweet.
Fish Armor, those are big in Minnesota and Wisconsin. But so far, Summit's been they're so price friendly. I think you get a whole built one for like $120.
That's just the shuttle.
That's just the shuttle.
You got to buy the battery, and then you got to buy the whole setup. You got to buy the screen, the transducer, and the black box. Which a lot of times you can just buy it with the whole bundle.
Yes,
I even know Markham Ketchum sells them like that. He's right here in Michigan. And he's a good dude. So
and then Summit sells them pre-built too.
Yeah.
Themselves.
But if you do it that way and you get it on a shuttle and you get the pole, and whether you have a track mount or you have a rail mount, you're just you can use it for a lot more. And even if Roy's right here and he's got a good point. Ice is for drinks, but it is for fishing, especially on a year like this when I haven't been out and I'm absolutely fish deprived. I'm gonna jump on the ice.
Feels like I'm ice fishing in this garage.
Our heater went out. That doesn't make me excited for ice fishing at all. The heater already went out. But so say you don't ice fish, but Roy, I know you do a lot of tournament fishing. If you've got the shuttle, you've got another weapon, because until walleye tournaments start banning live scope screens and units, which
I probably would have quit ice fishing a long time ago until the original Panoptics came out.
Oh yeah,
it changed the game.
It's fascinating. It is fascinating. But like, if you jump in other boats or you fish in other boats, if they've got a track system, then you can bring your shuttle. We did it on Tuesday nights. We would run. Actually, I already had the rail mounts for the Bruce City on each side of the boat, so he would just bring the pole in the shuttle, and we would be double beaming. But guess what? As soon as the wind blew, we couldn't find a fish.
Yeah, they disappeared very fast.
I mean, we're being a little dramatic. There were some really good days mixed in, but dude, when it's frustrating, it's really hard to forget. But yeah, you would bring your shuttle when we were pre-fishing for the Madness event.
Yeah, Roy's got 3 scopes in the boat.
So, yeah, exactly. So it's like, run them. You know what I mean? If you've got them, especially on a shuttle system like that. Like, my whole thing is, again, bang for your buck. Like, I know how hard we all work for our money. So it's like, if you're gonna spend the money, especially if you got to justify it with the wife, you don't want to be sleeping out on the couch for a month. I can use it all year round. Mm-hmm. I can take it with my buddies. I can use it. I can take it in a kayak. I could take it up north. Like you see it so many those like lodges up in Canada, like a lot of those fly-in lodges now, and you're watching guys live scope them. So it's like, if you're just looking to get a bang, now again, I do a lot of open water fishing. I'm not a big ice fisherman. I also like primarily fish in my own boat. I guess I just have no friends that want to take me out. So
shots fired.
My little tiny violin. But no, seriously. So like, my live scope is on my boat, and that's where it goes. But like, if you are looking to get the most bang for your buck, get a shuttle. I just can't emphasize that enough.
Yeah, it's so universally better.
And if you have 2 transducers, then I guess you'd still have to take your black box out of the boat, which would be a pain in the butt. But
again,
there's always something.
If you can swing it, the more the merrier.
Yeah, and I know a lot of guys in this chat are absolute sickos, just like we are. So I know how that goes. Yeah. Yeah, Roy, when are you getting a new boat? When are we spending that jig money? No, but on a real note, guys, we are going to I'm hoping it's going to be next week, but it might end up being, we're going to take Christmas week off. But the following week, we're going to do kind of a fishing show roundtable. Roy's in the chat. I saw Pete was in the chat earlier.
What's up, Ben?
And we'll talk about it. Oh yeah. Yeah. You were just messing with his boat.
Yeah. We're just about done. Got a few more things to tighten up.
Well, and that's, how often do you get a boat like from the factory, or that's the wiring, like, is just, you got to redo it. Like the wiring, and we could talk about that right now. The wiring is like super important, guys. And Chase can talk about it more than me. I'm not even going to pretend to know what I'm talking about here. But how important is it to have the right gauge, have direct power, have clean power? Like, you guys hear clean power, it's important.
Yeah, it's crazy how some of these boat manufacturers will you have this $150,000 boat and they put 18 gauge wire up front to power one graph, and you know damn well these guys buying these boats aren't putting one little 9-inch graph up there.
No.
So it just sucks as a consumer standpoint that, I mean, I guess their point is these guys are going to do what they want anyways on their own, which I get too. But yeah, you get behind the scenes of some of these boats, and it's
important, man. Like, it made a big difference for me. I tried scooting by when I had my first live scope unit in the Polar Craft, and it just was like very fuzzy. I wasn't getting the picture that I was seeing a lot of people getting, and I couldn't figure out why. I switched over to a lithium battery that had more than enough power than what I needed. I mean, now I have a 16 volt, 100 amp per hour.
Yeah.
And like, my picture's super clean, but as soon as I changed it in the Polar Craft and I got, specific batteries for my electronics, it was unbelievable how much better they were working, and how much better they looked. Like, it's, I don't know I can't emphasize it enough. I guess it's very important.
And all these, especially as you get bigger, the screen size, they're power hungry, man. They love voltage. And so the more you can give to it, the cleaner, the better.
Yeah.
Whether it's live scope or just running the screen in general.
Yeah. 100%.
It doesn't get as hot. It just runs better.
Yeah. Kurt, Chase is local. Imagine Marine is local. They were originally in Harrison Township. Now we got his dad out this way. They are local. We have their information at the shop. You can also find them on Facebook.
Yeah.
Give them a call. I know it's been pretty busy here these last few weeks, but you get what you can.
I mean, it feels like it's starting to kick off, and as soon as show season starts, it's going to get nuts.
Well, and now is the time.
Yeah.
Like, I don't sell electronics. Chase does, so I guess I don't want to be stealing any mojo from him, but like, now is the time to save money. Like, I tell you guys all the time that we're not really in this business to keep secrets. But
there's no secrets anymore.
No, there's not. Like, if you could save the money, if it's available, like, definitely save the money. We will always preach that.
We're not here to rip you off at all. It's granted, we got to make money, but if we're going to price match it. So if you come with me with a price, we'd love for you to buy it from us. So
yeah,
that's the thing.
100%. But sometimes, like you said, like, it's just, I mean, when I bought my live scope bundle, I did not get it from Imagine Marine, unfortunately, but we had you dialed in. And that's one thing that it's nice with small businesses can offer is not only can they do the install, but they can help you figure it out. Chase and I have talked a lot this year. I probably won't be doing as much on the water guiding, but I will be doing a couple like learning trips, getting guys out, learning your electronics on the river, how to do that. You are licensed, certified captain now as well. So, we've talked about doing that, and just being able to offer that at Hook One, something where you're not going to pay the full price of the charter. We won't be out there quite as long, but you can at least figure out what you're doing. And you can at least learn it from the guy that knows everything that basically has to go with it, because that's what your on the job training requires. And someone that gets to basically put it in use, I'd like to say 5-6 times a week in the spring.
Yeah. I was going to say, huh?
Yeah. The fall, it was dead.
The fall, that wind.
We can't catch a break. We talked about that on I think it was the last episode or maybe the one before, but like, we couldn't catch a break with the wind. We couldn't catch a break with the watercolor. We couldn't catch a break with even the fish. Like, even the days you could get out, the fishing was very, very streaky. But none of that matters because I'm being bossed around by a miniature human.
Yeah.
So that's life.
That's what you get.
Yeah, no doubt. One more thing that I really want to touch on before we hit on some of these. I see the chat's going a little bit here. Who's in here? Roy, Ben, Pete, Dakota's in here. What's up, everybody? I don't know why that happened. Yeah, here you go. I'll put this one up here. Fishing this fall was a bummer. A bummer is the PG way to put it. That we'll leave it on the live stream so we don't get kicked off. But yeah, it wasn't great.
No.
Dude, updates. You guys buy this equipment again. Like, we're really trying to prove across the point. Like, you want to get everything that you've got into these electronics. You spend all this money on electronics. make sure you're up to date.
Yeah, absolutely. And they come out. They seem to be coming out more often than they used to. It seems like every time I turn around, there's a new software update.
Yeah.
But it's super easy to do.
They all have apps on their phones at this point.
Yeah, especially Hummingbird's a little different. Lowrance is a little different, but they're all, you just Google it and just read and follow the prompts.
Yeah.
And it walks you right through it.
Back to the user.
Call me and I can take care of it for you.
Yeah. The user-friendly thing with the Garmin, like when it comes to that, like you download the Active Captain app, you download the software data to your phone, you bring your phone out to the garage, you connect your phone to the screen using the screen's Wi-Fi, and then the phone downloads it right off, or the screen downloads it right off your phone. Yeah. That is super nice. The Active Captain app is something really cool. It's you can get waypoints like when you're away, like say me and Chase are out somewhere, maybe a local watering hole talking to some fishermen, and they give you a spot and it's like, oh, what was that spot again? You can mark it on your Active Captain, go back, download it onto your screen,
as soon as you
and now you've got
phone,
it. Yeah, actually, Greg's right here. So, and he said, Greg is probably one of the men to talk to about that. The Active Captain app is really nice. I don't even know what Humminbird and Lowrance really have, even though I have the birds. I do know what the birds, like I update my chip and then put it back in the computer, but I don't know what the normal procedure is.
I don't know. Maybe on the new stuff, you can update it through the One Boat Network app. Maybe.
Give yourself some more credit. Kevin, so I've got a question because I really do want to know this. Do you ever know? Well, I guess it'd be hard to notice a difference. If you notice a difference with any of the stuff getting old, I mean, it's hard because our water's been raising and dropping here the last 7-8 years, goes way up and way down. But I would be curious because, like I said, my one Humminbird, I don't update it. I haven't updated it, but I just use it to relay information. A lot of the updates, go ahead.
A lot of it is, say I have an Echo Map from 2020, and I bought the newest, latest, and greatest live scope.
Gotcha.
If I try to plug it into my Echo Map from 2020, it's not going to recognize it.
Right.
So that's why you'd have to update the screen, and it fixes bugs behind the scenes that you're probably not even using.
I was going to say, so like for the traditional angler, as much as I sit here and just make sure you update it. Now I'm going to have to backtrack myself. Cause for the traditional angler, someone that's just using the sonar, cause like I'm a river rat, dude. So like a lot of these guys, I know how it goes. We don't use waypoints. We use landmarks. We're not, the only thing we need the graph for. This is what I tell everybody that only river fish is the only thing you need the graph for is water temperature, speed if you're pulling crawler harnesses, water depth. And I like having the GPS, but I mean, you should have it, especially when there's the fog rolls in and stuff like that in the spring.
Or the sandbars basically out of the water.
Oh, I know. Well, you don't need to be spending any time up near the sandbar, you guys. I'll just tell you that right now. There's nothing up there for you to see, and you don't need to be over there. But Kevin, if you're using the Lake Master chip, yeah, I honestly think you'll notice a little bit of a difference right here. I think you'll notice a little bit of a difference, Kevin, but I don't think it's going to be as big of a deal as you realize. I think it's more so like with especially with the live scope or any sort of forward-facing sonar unit. It's constantly fixing the bugs and cleaning up the picture and dealing with a lot of that stuff.
This isn't mapping updates. This is strictly
and what's new? Like besides for the water level, which they never have right anyway.
I've tried them all. It's Lake Master chip is by far.
Oh, there's a new island of Phragmites out off Metro Point. Like that's not gonna, you know what I mean? So it is mostly for that. But if you do have the time, like Kevin, I know for sure you can take your Active Captain chip, which I literally had, I think it's inside. But you can take the little chip and you can plug it in your computer where the micro SD card goes. You can actually go to Hummingbird's website. You can go to, Lake Master updates and download the update right there. Yeah. It is super quick. And then as soon as you plug it in your graph, it takes like a second for your graph to kind of grab onto it. Then the update's there.
It's kind of just like updating your cell phones. Like it's nice to keep up to date.
Yeah. Kevin's an OG too, dude. So he gets it. But you learn the shoreline enough, you never need waypoints. And even on those foggy days, you move real slow and just creep up the river. You be going one way, and all of a sudden the docks you're trying to go back up north, and the docks are to your right, and you're like, I'm either in Canada or I'm going the wrong way. But yeah, that try and see what's going on. Yeah, Kevin, same thing, tough fishing, and typically where you are, Kevin, you know how that goes. The fall fishing's really good, but that's just kind of the way it was from the mile roads up to the North Channel, all the way up to Lake Huron. So it'll be interesting to see. I'd love to get the boat out again. The boat's not winterized. It's sitting right here calling our name. Yep. I want to go, but you can't risk it. And especially after a day like today, I don't want to be anywhere near a boat launch.
Today was rough. This was a rough day in general. Weather. Adulting.
Yeah, it sucked. It sucked. We lost power here. I thought we were going to have to reschedule this thing. Power came back on. Get the heater going. Heat runs out.
Dude, how about the show? You ready for the show?
How about the show?
I'm ready.
Yeah, next week we're gonna be doing a giveaway. We're gonna give away some passes to the show next week. So you'll definitely want to tune in next Wednesday. We'll be talking a little bit more about the show. Chase is one of the gears that make it turn for us at the fishing show. And you can see it scrolling down along the bottom line. It's right there. Come see us in Novi at the Ultimate Fishing Show. We're going to be splitting the booth with our boys at Mag's Custom Rods, like always. I absolutely cannot wait, dude. Show season is my absolute favorite. I love seeing everybody down there at the show, and like literally everybody. Everybody that's come through on the chat are typically people that we see throughout the show, and we see so many customers, and we see so many friends in the industry, and like it's here. I was telling Dean and Parker this at the shop before Thanksgiving, but like it's gonna be here before we know it. It's 1 week after New Year's, so like New Year's Day is on a Thursday.
We got 1 work week left.
Yeah, that's it.
Christmas week, New Year's week, and then show.
Yeah, that's it. And I know the wife isn't gonna be happy, but I'm gonna be at the shop packing boxes because it's like when it's here, it's here. We've got a lot of stuff coming down. We've got 3 brand new colors of JT Custom Tackle Bandits coming to the show. All 3 of them are awesome baits. The one you've probably seen before, but you have not seen it in a long time. So Josh already has those done. Pete with Pappas Plastics. Pete's going to be coming down. He's got everything. He's got, as far as plastics go, like the color patterns he's got coming are going to be incredible. He's going to jump on the round table. Probably, we're probably going to do what?
Your wife.
Allie's checking in. But yeah, so it's going to be good, man. Roy's coming. Roy, we've got a few new colors of jigs coming out, some show exclusives. I'm letting him kind of cook on it. It's not really fair because I get all these pictures. Like, what do you think of this idea? I like that idea. Stop sending me ideas that I like. But we're going to have those. We're going to have a huge, for you guys that do like to live scope or that want to look more into it, we're going to have a huge forward-facing sonar selection. We're going to have all the new Berkeley Roller jigs, the new Berkeley Finishers, the new Berkeley Rip Fishes, the new Berkeley Vibes. I think you're kind of getting a taste of how much Berkeley forward-facing sonar there is. We are going to have some bass baits. I know that's not going to really rattle the chat, seeing the names in here that I see, but we will have some of that stuff. But the show is the absolute best. And the show is another place to save a lot of money. I know, bringing back up your competition, but Markham Ketchum's there, and he's like got the shuttles right there. So if you're trying to see what we're talking about, he's like right around the corner, and he's got them. Our guys at Superior Fishing are going to be there. Everyone's going to be there. I'm not going to go through that. Lure Lipstick's going to be there, and Dipnet's going to be there. Frank's is going to be there. So everybody will be there, but it's going to be a really good time. Again, next week, guys, we're going to do these every Wednesday. Now it'll get weird when we get to the holidays. I'm not going to be here on Christmas Eve. Sorry. New Year's Eve is when we might have our little spectacular. If we don't do it New Year's Eve, then we'll do it Friday, January 2nd, but we'll really dive into the show. We're going to give away passes next week. We're going to give away passes the following week as well. So anyone that wants tickets to the show, that's going to be your place to get them. You also, if you don't want to wait or risk it for the giveaway, you can go to the Showspan's website and you can get the tickets 50% off right now until Christmas. I think that makes them like $6.
Yeah.
So not a bad deal. It's going to be a ton of fun. I guarantee you guys we're going to have a ton of stuff there. Again, Chase is going to be there. So if you've got any questions that you want to ask him, that's not super urgent, but you want to ask him, he's going to be in the booth all 4 days. I'm dragging him down on Thursday. He's not coming home till Sunday. So we'll be there. And yeah, do you have anything else electronic related before we
go find
warmth?
One thing I wanted to touch on with live scope on the trolling motor. Unless you have an Ultrex, a Kraken, a Ghost, I might be missing a couple other ones.
Tarova, maybe?
No, Tarova, you'd have to.
Okay, I know what you're about to say.
Yeah,
yep,
unless you have a Kraken, you might be able to get on a power pole. There's so many different trolling motors out there now.
You can. You can, because Chase had a power pole.
Yeah. So you'll have, if you don't have those specific ones, you have to get a special mount to put that live scope on a trolling motor.
Yeah, they're usually just aluminum brackets that go right to your trolling motor. They clamp here and they stick out, and then the wire goes down. They're called
cable savers, is what, if you Google it. Yeah.
What the hell discount are we talking about? If you're a Hook One subscriber, you get 10% off in the in store, so that's pretty good. Or is Pete giving away free Pappas plastics? I think that's what the chat's waiting for. Oh my God! Could you imagine? Could you imagine? They're right here. The 3-inchers are. Look at these guys. These are gonna be coming to the show if you weren't here last week. 3-inch emerald shiner. Oh, that one's all tore up. Hang on, Pete's gonna be pissed I even use that one.
It's a different one, I think.
I got them all tore up because I got out of hand. But yeah, these 3-inch plastics are going to be coming in, and they are money. So we're looking forward to that. All right. Oh, for the fishing show entry. I thought you were giving. I'm like, I don't know if that's going to work on the website, Pete. All right. All right, y'all. If there's any other questions, please drop them in. We're going to hang around here just for a second, and then we're probably going to get out of here. I really appreciate y'all tuning in. This has been a lot of fun. I personally really like these lives a lot more than I like just doing the traditional podcast. There'll be some guests where I have to do a traditional podcast, and maybe I can just pre-record it and run it here on Facebook. For those of you guys that don't have like YouTube or can't get there, if you do have YouTube or you are on Facebook, let me see here. You can always like and subscribe, or if you're on Facebook, you can like and follow. That would be super sick. Other than that, I don't have much. That's the wind, dude. It's nasty out there. Let's see. I'll definitely do a giveaway on one of the lives before the show. All right.
You heard the man.
We'll figure out if it's New Year's Eve or January 2nd, but that one you are not going to want to miss.
Hey, Pete, are you going to have any of those lake trout tubes at the show? Was I supposed to not say that?
We're going to have some samples. We're not going to have any for sale. We're not going to. Oh, we can't. You see that red button there live? That is the one thing that's fun about this. It's roulette. Yeah, we will have some examples of those lake trout tubes. Or examples. What am I, a teacher?
No, sorry.
Samples.
Sorry, buddy.
Samples, that's what he said. I'm tired. I'm cold. I appreciate you guys. We'll see you next Wednesday night. Adios. Thanks,
you guys. Reach out.